WRC 10 is an important milestone, both for the official video game of the FIA World Rally Championship, but also developer KT Racing. Last year's WRC 9 was a breakthrough success, finally providing a driving experience that many rally fans such as myself had been yearning for. Ever since the Parisian racing game studio took the official license on, they had been building in stature, refining its proprietary game engine until at last, with a wheel, the game was rewarding to steer. Ultimately, that's core to any virtual racing or rallying experience. If you feel somehow connected to the action, you can forgive other foibles. Like the GG galley of games, there's a lack of consistency across the board, but if there's flamboyance to the driving experience, it can carry you through. Which begs the question, how does WRC 10 move the game on? The main ticket item here is the 50th anniversary mode that sees you playing through pivotal moments in the WRC's, well, 49-year history. Ah yeah, about that. Its 50th season is actually 2022, but the theory is the WRC 10 will be the current WRC game for the majority of next year, so this is the title to receive this edition. In this section you play through 15 scenarios, each representing pivotal moments in the championship's storied history. To flesh this out, there is a suite of classic cars and brand new stages in San Remo, Italy, and Acropolis, Greece. It also uses mildly modified versions of the Monte Carlo and Swedish stages, also found in the main career mode, the difference predominantly being the quantity of spectators, and repurposes some of the New Zealand and Spanish stages from previous WRC games. On paper, this is the main reason to purchase this game, especially if you're a WRC fan like me. Winding your way through narrow Italian mountain roads in Colin McRae's 1997 Subaru, or claiming Sebastian Loeb's first of 79 WRC victories in Germany, pivotal moments. Except, neither of them is present. The Subaru is only for PlayStation and Xbox digital pre-orders. On PC, this is available as a separate download for 2 weeks. At the time of reviewing, it wasn't available yet. The trailer for the game during the Nacon Connect event showcased a 2002 Germany scenario with Loeb, but that's completely missing. Strange. Perhaps this will be one of the post-release updates? There's a Mitsubishi Evo 5 too, but that's only if you buy the deluxe edition. I'm fine with chopping up bits to incentivize pre-orders or additions, but without them this mode feels a little like eating last night's spaghetti bolognese cold for lunch. Still better than a cheese sandwich, but something has been lost in translation from pan to Tupperware. If you've played previous WRC games, then you've driven too many of the cars and stages here already. For the later events with modern machinery, you are simply playing WRC 8, but with the new handling model. If you haven't played one of these releases in a while though, you'll get more out of it, and even for me, driving the fearsome Group B Peugeot 205 T16 or Group A Toyota Celica ST185 is enjoyable. The rear-wheel drive cars such as the Alpine A110 and the Lancia 037 are better behaved than in last year's title, although it's clear the physics model is designed primarily for the current WRC machinery. The obfuscation of your goals is frustrating, however. You're meant to beat a target time, fair enough, but you can complete a stage with green splits all the way through, finish first, and still fail the challenge. The game does not tell you by how much you failed either, as the leaderboard doesn't include timing. Was I 10 seconds off, or 1/10? No idea. Once you've plugged away at the anniversary mode, it's time to hit up what remains of the bulk of the game, the contemporary content. Sadly, to get the most of some of the new features, you are forced to play the anniversary mode first. In the main single-player career, you can now create your own team, manage sponsors, and design your own livery, something that has been lacking since the very first WRC game in 2001. Except, you cannot start the career with your own team unless you complete all anniversary events. That seems a bit dunderheaded to me. Some of the anniversary events are not straightforward, and so you are immediately restricting a more hands-on version of the career from the off. You can of course sign from an existing team, but if you do so, the career structure remains identical to that of the past 3 releases. That is to say good, but lacking a little sparkle. There's a car development skill tree, team personnel management, driver training, and team headquarters. WRC commentator Bex Williams voices the tutorial too for a real-world connection. The Formula 1 game still leads the way in this respect, as you won't see a driver transfer market, animated members of the press, or rivalries in this title. But playing through the junior WRC, then to WRC 3, WRC 2, and the main WRC class is as fun as ever. When you do unlock your own team, the livery editor is a solid first effort. You get the freedom of a blank canvas and a profusion of logos, colours, and shapes to apply, all of which can be sized appropriately. Only the bonnet and wing mirrors can have the option of a contrasting colour, however, and once you've created your design, the game adds its own sponsor stickers rather unceremoniously to your car. You can't share designs online either, but I was surprised by the creative options available, a worthy addition. An element that is still sadly present in the team objectives, which never really makes sense to me. They love to incentivize you with nonsensical tasks, such as not using hard tyres for 2 rallies. That's like saying, don't breathe for an hour and we'll give you a chocolate bar. Speaking of tyres, there is now a detailed tyre selection process for events. You have a limited number you can allocate for an event, and then you must manage which specific sets you use. You may end up at stage start and have 2 spare fresh soft compound tyres and 4 worn hards on the car, so you must swap at least 2 of those for 2 new ones. This includes cross-mounting, handy in Monte Carlo for example when using a mixture of dry and studded ice tyres. Your tyre selection has a much bigger effect on performance. Go for a set of harder compound slicks on an asphalt event for example, and the lack of grip is noticeable, but they will at least last stages which can be over 20 kilometers in length. It's a balancing act and a tangible sense of strategy. Elsewhere, the handling of the top spec machines is still glorious. You need to work up to them, adapt, tweak controller and wheel settings, but once you click, learn to listen to your co-driver and find a flow, this is a driving experience up with the best. Thankfully, the egregious engine sounds of the preview build are now gone. The notes still don't make the hair on the back of your neck stand up, although current WRC cars aren't the most charismatic sounding vehicles anyway. The sound has been remade from the ground up this time around. I would say there's still work to do as it's still a bit flat.
Keep middle for jump over crest. And caution, brake for square right at junction through gate. Into left 4 and right 5, danger, tightens over crest.
Stage variety remains a strong suit. There is everything from the snow of Sweden, the barren wastelands of Kenya, to the fast and flowing gravel of Finland. 3 new events have been added, that of Estonia, Spain and Croatia, and all are welcome additions. Strangely, Wales Rally GB is still included, despite its omission in real life. I'd prefer it if it wasn't part of the season and career modes, please. While you could argue the roads are lacking in visual finesse, they make up for it in diversity, or corners, environments and stage length. The new Ypres Rally Belgium event and further Greek stages will be added post-launch. Sweden remains in lieu of the last-minute substitution of Arctic Rally Finland. The point of more stages coming further down the line leads me to my overall opinion of WRC 10. There's a lot here. I haven't touched upon the online co-driver mode, clubs, or split-screen multiplayer, and once you're in tune, the driving remains rewarding. But I get the impression that it's still in its embryonic stages of development. As it stands, the anniversary mode feels a little tacked on, lacking in both content and polish. Online functionality will be updated post-release. More events and stages will also be added alongside new vehicles. During our testing too, the PC build was experiencing many hitches and framerate dips, even on a 3090 equipped Alienware Aurora R12. Thankfully, the PS5 and Xbox Series X version is smooth. This brings us back to the original question: how does WRC 10 move the game on? If the roadmap is delivered as promised, this could be a significant evolution. As it stands today, it isn't enough of a step forward, as harsh as that seems, mainly because the anniversary mode is a little frivolous. But I'll be damned if a clear run through an Estonian stage as Oit-Tänak isn't one of the best virtual rally experiences there is. You got me. Traxion verdict? Wishlist. What do you think of WRC 10? Let us know in the comments below. And for more Traxion content in the future, make sure you subscribe to the channel. As always, keep it pinned.